time to start something Saturday. Get your hooks and let's crochet. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Start Something Saturday. Cause hey, yesterday was Finish It Friday, right? And so as crafters, as crocheters, most of us, well, we want to get something else new going, right? So I did an episode of Start Something Saturday, I think the first Saturday of September, and it was a really popular video. A lot of you watched it. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for watching that. If you did, if you're a returning viewer, of course, thank you always for watching, and thank you for your patience while I briefly introduce myself to anybody who might be new to my channel. Hi, my name is May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. Those are my hobbies. And I also happen to have been born visually impaired, legally blind, and completely colorblind. So I mostly knit and crochet by feel. And so I did that episode. I think that was actually my second time to do a Start Something Saturday video. And because I did so well, people seemed to watch it. I thought, let's do another one. And what I want to know, what I want to hear from you is how often would you like to do them? Like just the first Saturday of the month, twice a month, every Saturday, like just sort of a community chat, brainstorming, what's on, what do you want to get on your needles and hooks, what's at the top of your list. If you're a crafter, a crocheter, a knitter, most of us have a list that's, longer than our lifetime, right? I mean, really, I'm 47. I probably have a list of projects to make that will outlive me. I could probably knit and crochet for the rest of my life and never make everything on the list that I want to make, right? So every now and then things sort of bubble up to the top of our list and we're like, oh yeah, these are the ones that I really want to do next. Those get bumped up. Those are priorities, right? And there's all kinds of reasons why things might become priorities, right? Different changing of the seasons, different events, different things. And so I, of course, am no different. I have a very long list of projects. But, seasons change, months change, different things are happening. And so I get different ideas at different times, different inspirations about, yeah, that's what I want to do next, right? So as somebody who knits and crochets, I like to have a little of both happening, right? I like to have a little bit of knitting going on. I like to have some crocheting going on. And I also happen to be one of those people that I kind of like to have like big projects going on, like the blanket right here, right? The knit blanket. That's a big project. And so that's going to be a while. So, but I like to have knit, but I like to have crochet. I like to have simple going on. I like to have complex. I like to have things I can do when I'm half asleep, right? That my fingers can just kind of knit while I'm kind of not really awake hardly anymore. And then I like to have things that really challenge me mentally. I like to have small projects that boom, I can get done in a day or two or three or a week even, because in the middle of a big blanket, in the middle of a big cardi, a big coat, whatever, I kind of need sometimes that little sense of accomplishment, right? That sense of immediate gratification that you get when you, complete something little, like a dishcloth or a beanie or baby booties or something like that. So I kind of like to have all of that happening at once, okay? So last week for Start Something Saturday, I of course talked about more bears, right? We got Mr. and Mrs. Bear here out of the Knit Pigs We Crochet fairy tale fur, and I was like, yeah, let's do more bears. Well, guess what? Started a bear. We got, another bear started, but you know what? I haven't finished it yet, okay? We got a pile of bear parts here, okay? Let's be real. I have a pile of bear parts. We got legs happening, right? We got legs happening. We got bear legs, right? We got bear arms here. So we got a whole bag of pink, fuzzy, fluffy bear parts, but they haven't been sewn together yet. Now, of course, that doesn't mean I don't want to start another bear, right? I'm not very good at sewing. If you don't know that yet, being the whole visually impaired thing, sewing is the part of amigurumi and really all knitting and crochet that challenges me the most, right? I can whip up the bear parts for these projects in like 2 days, okay? Head, body, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 ears. I do have a video on my channel, by the way. Surprise, Mrs. Bear finally arrived, the pink one, where I choose to crochet my ears. I did not design the pattern for the bears. They are a pattern from Knit Picks. They are a free pattern called Little Mishka. And that pattern is linked up in that video where I do talk about how I decided to crochet the ears. I just think they're cuter. I think they're faster. So I can do all the parts in like 2 days, okay? But as somebody who works by feel, who's visually impaired, sewing and assembly is super, super hard for me. So I haven't assembled my bear yet because I just keep thinking like, what is it, like the shoemaker and the elves or something like that, or like Santa's got elves or something that come and do work in the middle of the night. And I keep thinking that like the sewing elves, the sewing fairies are just going to show up in the middle of the night and assemble my bear for me or something and put it all together. But that hasn't happened yet, by the way, okay? Let me just reassure you that the sewing fairies and the sewing elves have yet to show up because my bear, well, there's nothing wrong, by the way, with a bear without arms and legs, okay? Nothing wrong with that. We don't discriminate here against anybody without arms and legs, human, bear, or otherwise. So, in theory, it'd still be a wonderful bear without arms and legs, but we do have a bag of them, so, you know, there's hope. Now, of course, part of me wants to still make more bear parts, right, and have like a whole collection of bear parts in other colors, but I'm telling myself no, I have to assemble this one first. So that's not really on the list for this month. Well, assembling the bear might possibly be on the list for this month, but you know, starting another one, I'm trying my very, oops, I forgot to put that extra yarn for that back in there. I better do it. As somebody who's colorblind, again, another thing. Keep your yarn up tip. If you're colorblind or visually impaired, keep your yarns of the same color together in Ziploc bags. It will help you so much. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still wanting to make some other plushies, right? Because it's October, and so, you know, people like to do all their Halloween stuff. Now, of course, not everybody celebrates Halloween, and that's okay. Like, some of the stuff that I'm talking about is because, you know, it's October. It is Halloween's coming up, and it's fall where I live, but I also know that, you know, it's not fall, right, where everybody lives. I'm aware of that. I'm fully aware of the fact that it's not fall where everybody lives, right? I'm Northern Hemisphere. So, but it's fall where I live. It's United States, so a lot of people do Halloween. I didn't really grow up celebrating Halloween, but I still know people love to do fun Halloween stuff, right? And so, of course, I'm still thinking about those other Halloween plushies. We still have our black and the honey bunny, and I still have my parfait glitz, right? Yeah, I'm thinking like, would that make some fun plushies? And then I also have, this is honey bunny in, put some braille on some of these to help me with the colors, in caramel. So we got a nice dark brown. So as somebody who's colorblind, I don't really know what colors bats and spiders and all those critters are. I don't get close enough to spiders to ever even try to identify if they're brown or black. I kind of assume that black widows are black in the name. I kind of assume brown recluses are probably brown, right, in the name. Picking up some clues there. Look at me, right? Look at me, picking up some clues. So, you know, I'm still thinking about that, right? Just because the bear's not assembled yet doesn't mean we can't make Spooky Spider, right? Spooky Spider can still show up, even if bear is, you know, is missing limbs, right? So I'm still thinking about that. I'm thinking, I mean, there's no other time of the year that I'm going to make a spider, okay? Let's be real about that. Let's be real about that. There's no other time of year except probably October for Halloween that I'm going to have an urge to make a spider or a bat or some other kind of soft, plushy critter. But, you know, for Halloween, I might do it just to be fun. So there's that. That's still going on in my mind. And, of course, I want to ask you about eyes for your plushies, right? Because we got Baxter over here, Baxter the bunny, who's got some safety eyes. I've embroidered the eyes for Mrs. Bear with some black yarn, but if we did plushies in like black, well, let's be real, black eyes wouldn't show up that well. So what are your thoughts? Should we just not give them eyes? I mean, some people do not have eyes. That's real. Or, what about the felt eyes? Like, do you guys like these felt eyes? They buy felt eyes off Amazon. Like, we could glue on some felt eyes. I don't know that I want to put glue on felted eyes on my pink bear. I think I'm going to go ahead and embroider the eyes for the pink bear in black. But what do you think? I mean, would that be fun or not? Yes or no? I want to hear from you on eyes. Embroidery eyes, safety eyes, felt eyes. And of course, you know, obviously for me, I feel like the embroidery eyes are safest. I don't have children, but you never know who are going to pick them up. And so I do tend to feel like the embroidery eyes are the best, right? Because that way there's nothing for, you know, there's nothing for little ones to pull off. I think the eyes on Baxter would be pretty easy, even though they're safety eyes for a little one to get out, right? Put in their mouth. So the felt eyes, if they're glued on right, maybe with like a Gorilla Glue, I don't know, like a super glue, would they stay on? Or do you think that like a, you know, a 2-year-old could still pull them out? I don't know. So I would love to hear from y'all on your thoughts on eyes for our plushies, right? So that's going on in my mind. And of course, right, of course, because, let me see what else I had here that I wanted to talk about today. I did have a lot of stuff. You know, I always kind of just pop stuff on the bed with me, right? And then I'm like, what happened? I can't find what I want when I want it. So that happens to me all the time. So I did get some Lion Brand, as you saw, some of the Lion Brand DIY Cozy Glow. And I've talked about this, how this could be really fun stuff for Halloween, right? So you just know that I had to start playing with it. If I haven't made a spider yet, but I have already been practicing making spider webs, because why not, right? Why not? Because you know, when a spooky spider gets into the house, spooky spiders going to start spinning webs, right? We know that. Spooky spiders like, I'm here to stay, right? And then the webs start happening. So, you know, webs are happening. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a web in the glow. Now, am I going to keep this? I was actually just kind of playing with it because I wanted to get a feel for it. What I can say so far is that this yarn really crochets up nicely. As somebody who's visually impaired, you see it when I do yarn reviews. I talk all the time and say, you know what, this, I had no problem knitting with this yarn, but I really had difficulties crocheting with it. I found it splitty, right? Well, guess what? This yarn is polyester and it does not split at all. It crochets up beautifully. So keep that in mind if you want to make ghosts, spider webs, Halloween decor. I think you could get some really nice, fun stuff out of this. Were we going to frog this? Probably. We're probably going to frog it. But I had fun making it. I'm still really trying to figure out spider webs, okay? I am. And I realize that they don't have to be perfect and symmetrical because, you know, they're spider webs. But I did also practice making like a little cuff with it too, because I was also thinking if you're going out trick-or-treating or the kids are going out or you're going out to a party or something, it might be fun to have wear like on your body some glow-in-the-dark accessories so that you show up better. And so I was thinking about things like fingerless gloves, right? What do you think about that? So I started like a crochet cuff for like some fingerless gloves, like it's like it's just a ribbed cuff. And I was thinking I haven't gotten any further with it. I mean, this is what happens to me, right? When I'm making decisions on my blanket, when I get overwhelmed with big problems, like, oh, just start something else, right? So I was like, let's just do a Start Something Saturday. These are the things that are all in my mind that I want to work on soon. They might not happen this year, but they're going around in my head, right? So I was definitely thinking about some glow-in-the-dark fingerless gloves, right? So that if you're out doing trick-or-treating in the street, this is a yarn you have to charge it. You got to leave it under the light, right? So you can't like put it in a box, put it in the closet with the Halloween decor, and then take it out on the, afternoon of the 31st and expect it to glow when you go out trick-or-treating. Okay, just keep that in mind. This is a yarn that you're gonna have to keep under the light, get it bright and charged up, and then I don't know how long it's gonna last you, but you probably get a couple hours out of it. I'm not saying not to still be careful when you're out there, but I'm just saying if you made some glow-in-the-dark fingerless gloves, it might really help you to show up out there, right? Or the kiddos, right? So think about that. Think about fingerless gloves. Think about like headbands, like glow-in-the-dark headbands. Like maybe just something to go around their ears to keep their ears warm when they're out, and also just to make them really visible out there at night. And you too, of course, you should go with them, right? Make sure they're safe. So all those things. So that was something that really occurred to me. Okay. So that was definitely things that were going through my mind. And then of course I have the baby DK, right? The baby DK. So you just know that's the Knit Picks Sweet Crochet Brava Baby DK in the color gray, and you just know I was still making spider webs with that. I don't know if I'm gonna leave these. I'll probably leave in. Like I have already cut the yarn on these, so I'm just playing with it though, right? I said I want to get this yarn in the house. I want to play with it. So who knows? Maybe we'll decorate with these. Maybe these ones will keep. I'm not sure, but I had fun. I had fun with it, okay? I had fun with it. So while we're thinking of like autumny, fall-y decor, of course, we have to talk about pumpkins, right? We do. We have to talk about pumpkins. Now, I think you can, in my opinion, you can appropriately decorate with pumpkins pretty much all fall, in my opinion, okay? I hope I brought that with me. Yes, I did. Okay, so in my opinion, I think you can decorate. So even if you don't celebrate Halloween, right, and no matter where you're at on the world, fall will happen. Now, your fall might not be in October. Most of us falls in October, but not everybody. So hey, if you're flipping upside down, right, you have to make your pumpkins in the spring or our spring and your fall somewhere else. But I think pumpkins make great fall decor. So even if you don't celebrate Halloween, right? Yeah, I think you can absolutely put pumpkins out. I think pretty much the end of September, all of October, the first part of November, even through Thanksgiving, I think pumpkins make great fall decor. So you know that I've got some pumpkins that I knit up in Brava worsted in the orange. I put a little bow tie. Look at that. I designed this bow tie. Don't even know how I did it. Don't have a clue how I did it. I'm just happy that both ends pretty much meet. They're like little leaves, so I'd really love to figure out how I did it and make a match. You know, I always wish that I could take notes better when I knit and crochet and design. But I don't, and then I can't replicate things. So, and for this knit pumpkin, I just put a cinnamon stick in for the stem. I did crochet this little pumpkin up in the Brava Baby DK with the orange, gave it a little green stem. But now, you saw I have this Mighty Stitch in the house, and I bought it in orange. I think it's technically, I'm trying to remember, I don't think they actually call it orange. Oh goodness, I'm trying to remember what they call it, and I think they call it Satsuma, right? The little baby oranges, which I love, by the way. I prefer Satsumas over the big oranges. So I think it's probably a slightly lighter color of orange. So I was thinking this is the brand new. It's a brand new yarn from Knit Picks. Now, of course, Mighty Stitch is not a new yarn, right? They've had Mighty Stitch worsted for a long time. It's a really nice soft yarn. It's a wool and acrylic blend. I think it's about 80% acrylic, 20% wool. You get kind of the best of both in it. And I recently bought some Mighty Stitch and I ended up finding it really soft. And so they just came with a brand new yarn for them called Mighty Stitch Super Bulky. And I was like, ooh. So, you know, I grabbed some in the orange thinking maybe we should crochet up another pumpkin. So let me know, are we done making pumpkins for the year? Or do you guys want to make pumpkins with me this week? Like, do you want to do pumpkins? Let me know in the comment section. Are you up for crocheting or knitting? You know, pumpkins or whatever hobby you have, right? Maybe you do an entirely different hobby that you make pumpkins with. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you. If you decorate with pumpkins all fall long, but I'm tempted to make up one more pumpkin this year in the Mighty Stitch. So I'd love it if you'd make a pumpkin with me this week. That would be super fun, right? Let me know if you're going to do that. Let me know what yarn you're going to use. Let me know if you're going to decorate yours. Like, are you going to give your stems and that's it? Are we going to give them some leaves? Are you going to just give yours bows like I do? Are you going to put the eyes? Like, the pumpkins might be an appropriate place where we could use these little, like, felt eyes. I mean, we could, like, glue on eyes to our pumpkin. Also a possibility, too, right? So, there's always that. I mean, you know, we could decorate pumpkins or we could not decorate pumpkins. I don't know. And of course, let me know if you're carving real pumpkins, right? Do you like to get real pumpkins and carve with them? I think I only ever did that once as a kid, but I do remember going to a pumpkin patch when I was like in preschool, and it was really, really fun. I can honestly say that if you have the opportunity to take your kiddos to a real pumpkin patch, and you know, when they're like 4, I think I was like 4 when I went to the pumpkin patch. It was really fun. You know, where you get to like go out there in the field and pick out your own pumpkin. And you pick out, when you're 4, man, you pick out a pumpkin the size of your head, right? You pick out a pumpkin that you can't even lug home with you when you're 4. That's what I did. I remember, man, I was like, pumpkins as big as my head. That was super fun. So, of course, let me know if you got that going on and if you're carving your real pumpkins or if you're just eating your real pumpkins. Yeah, nothing wrong with eating pumpkin. So, let me know your thoughts on whether or not we should try out this brand new Mighty Stitch Satsuma. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, you know, I talked about when I made my big boxy cardie. I was like, well, one used a double strand, and I started it with a double strand, but I don't like crocheting with a double strand, and it's challenging for me to really feel and make sure I got both strands in there, right? And then, so, I don't particularly enjoy it, but I've done it with baskets, okay? I've made crochet baskets with double strands, and it's definitely doable for me. I made green ones, I made pink Easter basket with a double strand. I know how to do it. So that's the other thing we could do with this Satsuma, y'all. We could just make like a little, like kind of like a basket, but use it for like a bucket for trick-or-treating. There's always that. But we could double strand it too and make it really thick. And so I was looking at this puzzle shimmer, right? I have the puzzle shimmer in the color Maize, which is really a very nice green, which, by the way, if you're colorblind, it is green. Okay, I only know that because Glenda from Creative Grandma said that. As somebody who's colorblind, I always think Maize is yellow after corn. It never, ever, ever would have occurred to me that Maize was green. Ever, if she hadn't said that. So, even though I'm not a big fan of double stranding, I was like, what if we put this sparkly green Maize together with our orange and double stranded that for our pumpkin? Would that be pretty, or would that be like, you know, too much, right? I don't know. I really don't know what that would look like. If a hint of green in there would look kind of cool or not. And of course, you know what though? You can make your pumpkins any color that you want, right? You can make them. You can make them white. You can make them pink, right? I mean, I want to say that like my bats and my spiders for Halloween should be brown and black, but really, I mean, I'm a lady with a pink bear, right? So if I can have a pink bear, I could probably have a pink pumpkin too, right? So, I mean, we could add some of this sparkly green to our pumpkin and just be like, nah, that's what we got. So that was going through my mind. That might be kind of fun, add a little shimmer to our pumpkin. But then, of course, I was reminded of the fact that I did buy this yarn to crochet Glenda from Creative Grandma, her Christmas blanket. So, is it too soon to start crochet? I think that's the parfait. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's my puzzle shimmer and the checkers. So I did buy this to crochet Glenda's blanket, right? And so is it too soon to start crocheting a Christmas blanket? I definitely know some people are like, it's too soon. It's October. But, you know, then again, right, Christmas will be on us before no time, and we might want that Christmas blanket. So that's going through my head. And of course, you know, this knitted blanket's not done yet, but it doesn't mean we can't start a crochet blanket, right? So there is that. And then just like all things leaves are on my mind, right? Like leaves, because it's fall and the leaves are falling. And so I have this top that I designed. It's got these leaves on the collar. So it's, you know, it's in purple, but I'm still thinking about leaves and ways that we can add leaves to our anything pretty much, right? Like this is a top. I used a very, let's see, where is it at? There you go. I used a very different but similar leaf design as well at the top of this dress that I knit in the Knit Picks We Crochet Cotlin. It's the color, I want to say blackberry, right? And so it's got leaves as well. And so I'm like kind of got leaves on the mind, right? So I'm thinking about, again, the greens and the, you know, any, I don't know what colors you like to do in the fall. I tend to think browns, greens, some reds, blacks, oranges. Those tend to be the colors that I think of for fall. But I am thinking about leaves. So leaves and designs, right? Leaves and lace, leaves in our tops, in our clothes. What about in the kitchen, right? You want to do some like kitchen stuff that's leaf shaped, like dishcloths that are leaves. Those could be simpler than making like tops and dresses, right? I mean, it'd be fun to make a dress, but I don't know if I'm going to do that right now because, you know, blanket, right? Blanket and bare parts everywhere. So I'm like, maybe you shouldn't take on a dress till you finish the bigger projects, but I kind of want to. I mean, so, but leaves can also, we could also do leaves in smaller designs, right? We could do leaves on dishcloth. That might be fun. We could do leaves on scarves. We could do leaves on hats. Like there's lots and lots and lots of other ways that we could incorporate leaves into our designs in the fall. So that is still very, very much on my mind for October. And then of course, right, did you see my socks? Right, did you see my socks? Orange and black. Are you going to make those? Right, are you going to make those? And what color are you going to use? And should we start a pair in Swish or in acrylic again? Like, I don't know that I'm going to start these again in October because I got lots of other stuff going on in my head. I still want to play with my Brava, right? My Brava in black. Like, that's still in my head, okay? Like, I still have this crochet thingy that I've been playing with, that I've been designing, and part of me still wants to design a top in the Brava black, maybe to go with my stockings. So I am very, very much still thinking about that. So I've started it. I don't know if we're going to frog this. I don't know if we're going to keep it, right? But I've started like a little neckline here in crochet. I can't decide if I'm going to leave it, if I'm going to frog this. This is just me playing with my yarn. But this is a start of maybe a top, possibly. And so I'm thinking about that too, right? That's going on in my head too, right? So, what do you think about that if we design some kind of top in the Brava black? Because I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to take my Brava black, maybe the gray. I probably should not wear orange near my face. Just saying. I think I can get away with orange in stockings. I probably can't wear the orange near my face. So, but I'm looking at the Brava black. I've been playing with it some. I could knit a top, right? Like this dress that I've made with the leaves. That's knit circular yoke. So I could actually knit the circular yoke top, or I could just leave this crochet and do a black top to wear it with my stockings and then wear some kind of skirt with it or something, right? So that is going through my mind. I don't fully have it mapped out in my head yet. Okay, let's be real. I don't. That's very much a work in progress, design in progress, me playing with yarn kind of thing going on. So I have knit top going on in my head. I have maybe more socks going on in my head. Might not start those in the white and the red until maybe November, maybe October, but I'm trying to decide if we should do it in the Brava baby DK or if we should do it in the Swish in the Hollyberry and white, so we could also wear them for Christmas and, you know, as I said, my school. So there's that. And what makes me think of the school is because I talked about how I love hockey, right? I love hockey. I'm a hockey fan. And so, of course, I knit up this puck this hat, right? If you're a hockey fan, who doesn't want to wear a puck this hat, right? And now, first of all, I did not design this. This is a free pattern off of Ravelry. If I can find it back, I will link it up for you in the description box. But if you go into Ravelry and look up like puck this, right, it's probably going to be the only thing that comes up. If you even just look up hockey, you'll be surprised. I was surprised how many knitter hockey fans there were in the world. I was like, what? Wow, there's a lot of hockey stuff on there. So lots of hockey mamas, I'm guessing. So that's going through my mind, is doing something else, right? If I do my socks, this hat, the puck this hat, I chose to use the Knit Picks Swish DK. This is, I think, the leftovers of my hat and my skirt. So, see, I've already knit up a skirt in the Swish DK and the Hollyberry. So that's why I'm leaning towards the socks in the Swish DK and Hollyberry, so that when I'm cheering on my team, right, I can wear my white Swish DK, puck this hat in Hollyberry. I can wear my Hollyberry skirt, and then I could wear up some white in Hollyberry socks to go with it, and we'd be super matchy, right? So if you're a hockey fan, I definitely suggest that, or if you got a kid or a nephew or somebody in your family that loves hockey, you might need to make them a puck this hat, right? I mean, really. Any hockey fan, I think, would love to wear this. But also, I was thinking about making another hat, like, that has more to do with my team, right? Like, my team's colors are red and white. I think the holly, that might be slightly more of a maroon red. I think this would work close enough, though. But I was thinking about making another hat for my team, maybe slightly different, maybe designing it myself. I'm not totally sure yet, okay? But that's definitely going on in my head. And I know some people are probably a little bit surprised, right, that I'm a hockey fan. Because, I'll be honest with you, nobody else in my family really is into hockey, but I babysat for a woman when I was a teenager, and she was a really big hockey fan. In fact, she asked my mom, she was my mom's boss, and she approached my mom one day at work, and she's like, well, your daughter babysit my son. Her son was 2.5, and to this day, I have no idea why that woman requested for me to babysit her son. Okay, I don't. I'm like, I wasn't the most together 14-year-old or 13. I might have been 13 or 14 the first time that she asked me to do that. And I wasn't the most together 13 and 14-year-old. Okay, let's be real. I wasn't. And so, like sneaking out to see my boyfriend and drinking beer and doing stupid teenager stuff, right? And so I don't know to this day why that woman asked my mom why I would babysit her son. I don't, but she did, and of course she was my mom's boss, so my mom said yes, of course, right? And then of course my mom's like, don't mess this up, right? Or your mom's gonna be fired, and we're gonna be hungry, and you're gonna be in trouble. So, but it worked out. Her kid and I had a great time. He absolutely loved me. He used to ask her to go and see me instead of on the weekends, because I only babysat on weekends because I was in middle school, right? So I would babysit him on the weekends, and we'd watch movies, and we'd color, and we'd play Legos, and play on the neighbor's swings, and all kinds of really fun stuff. And so we ended up really having a good time to where he would, he would like not try to boycott regular daycare on Monday. I'd be like, nope, I'm going to go see May, right? I used to be like his big reward, right? Like she'd have to like, bribe him to do things and be like, how about if you do this for me, I'll call May and maybe you guys can watch Mermaid together, because he loved Little Mermaid. And so I babysat this little boy, and his mom was a huge hockey fan. And so whenever we'd talk on the phone or she'd chat with me, we would talk hockey. She'd start talking about hockey because she had her boys. She had 3 boys. She really got her boys into hockey, and including the little one that I was babysitting. And so she was a huge hockey fan. And so she really got me into like starting to be interested in hockey, which ended up being cool because I love hockey now. And so that's very cool. So I love that. To this day now, of course, I really wish that I could, ask her, right? I'd love to be able to ask her now, like, what in the world made you think of like the visually impaired, teenager with a white cane who was kind of a mess at the time? Why did you think she should babysit your child? Right? But it really was beautiful. It really was fun. But I would love to ask her, but I can't. She passed away. She passed away from cancer. And so that's very sad to me because she was a wonderful lady, wonderful mom. But I wish now that I could go back and ask her and be like, what in the world made you think I would be a good babysitter? But I also want, I have one or two more things. Oh yeah, I also wanted people to know that, so I am thinking one more hockey thing. Don't know what yet. I don't know if I'm gonna like make this in different colors, different yarns, different sizes, or something else for my hockey team. But just the fact that she isn't here with us anymore because she died from cancer, I haven't forgotten at all that October, I talk about October as Blindness Awareness Month, okay? Like, I know that, I'm aware of that. But I also know that, what else October is? October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so that's something that I absolutely want to recognize, right? Because I know a lot of people are affected by breast cancer. People have had it, right? People are in recovery, in remission. People have lost mothers, aunts, grandmothers, all kinds of loved ones. Most everybody that you know's life has been touched, certainly by cancer, probably even breast cancer. And so I do know that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I did knit up this pink awareness ribbon dishcloth. I just knit this up in the Knit Picks We Crochet Dishy and the color Blush. Just a sort of like a little reminder, right? Little remembrance, right? Not to forget the people in our lives, right? Who maybe somebody who's got breast cancer, and something with some kind of a pink breast cancer awareness ribbon might be a nice gift for them. This is really more of a dishcloth, but I think there's some really nice soft cottons out there that you could even make like a washcloth out of, right? That they could use to wash their face on. Dishy, I don't know. I think dishy might be a little bit rough for that, but if you needed to exfoliate, that's not terrible, right? I mean, if you wanted to really exfoliate your skin, I think you could certainly use that. So it might be a nice little gift to give to somebody, or to just have in your own home to remember. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? But it could also be a nice little gift or a washcloth and a really nice soft cotton for you to give to somebody who you know who's had or has breast cancer, right? We want to remember them. For me, it's like a remembrance piece. I've certainly lost people that have been, my aunt, my mom's sister. My aunt had breast cancer. She had double mastectomy, went into remission, came back as lung cancer, eventually bone cancer, and my aunt did die from cancer that started out as breast cancer. So I've lost people. One of my dragon boat coaches, Kathy, passed away from breast cancer as well. Back when I was in Portland, I was on the first team of blind and visually impaired dragon boat paddlers in the United States called Blind Ambition. And we had a variety of coaches. And one of our coaches she was like she had been a world traveling dragon boat paddler. She was our coach, but she had breast cancer, and she also her cancer had been in remission, and then her cancer came back, and she also she was special to me as well. She was very special to me. She was my coach, and I learned a lot from her, right? And so she, my aunt, there's other people in my life that have been touched. I've been friends who are, breast cancer survivors. So it's certainly close to me. And so for me, it's just nice to have this. So the other thing about this dishcloth, though, is it's on Ravelry. Like, I didn't design it, right? But it's been discontinued, okay? It's discontinued. So I did a seed stitch border, and then my best, if you want to make this off of Ravelry or I think any kind of picture even of a breast cancer awareness ribbon, we can kind of, make it ourselves. But if you knit and you have some ability to read stitches from patterns, then I would say look it up on Ravelry. There are other breast cancer awareness ribbon projects on Ravelry, okay? But so you might be able to find another one that's close enough to what you want. If you wanted this particular one, I don't know why she discontinued it, because she is still active on Ravelry. She's got lots of other designs, and I don't know what the deal is. Okay, I genuinely don't know. I'm not criticizing her at all. I'm just saying for whatever reason she made the decision to discontinue this one. But I think you could certainly look at the picture, and if you have some ability to read stitches, probably, and it was a free pattern, by the way. I'm not encouraging you to go out and look at somebody's paid for pattern and, recreate it by that. But I'm saying this was a free pattern at one time on Ravelry that's been discontinued. And so, but you could probably zoom in on the pictures and get some idea of how to make something like that for yourself or for somebody else who has had or has breast cancer. So we don't want to forget that, right? I know that October Blindness Awareness, it's not everything, right? It's not everything for everybody, and I don't want people for a minute, right, to think like, oh, that's all she cares about is her and her blindness stuff. No. In fact, you could make, if you know somebody who's got breast cancer or has had breast cancer, I think they'd love any kind of pink type gift. It doesn't just have to be like a washcloth with a ribbon. I think any kind of pink gift to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, right? It's kind of the color. It's kind of the breast cancer color. So like somebody could finish their pink bear, right? Somebody could give their bear arms and legs and maybe make a dishcloth and gift a pink bear with a pink washcloth to somebody who's had breast cancer, and that would make like a super thoughtful gift to somebody, especially if they're going through breast cancer at the moment, right? A snuggly bear and a washcloth and a really pink yarn might be a super nice gift to say, I'm thinking about you in October, right? So those are on my mind. And then of course, did you see my tutorial? I have a tutorial for my beanie, my shell and trellis beanie. So let me know if you're making it, right? What yarn are you using? What you could also make the beanie in pink, right? We could whip up a pink beanie, right? Chemo cap. You could absolutely make my beanie, right? Maybe we'll do that. You guys want to do that this month? We could take, this one's pink. Okay, mine is pink, but it's pinks and purples and blacks, right? So, and this is a discontinued color, unfortunately. I think it's called Dragon Lily. Unfortunately discontinued, but there's other pink yarns out there, right? There is. So, you could definitely make this in pink, right? And give it to somebody for like a chemo cap or something. That make a nice gift also, in addition to a pink washcloth and a pink bear, right? So there's lots and lots of options out there, right? For, you put your pink cap on your pink bear that you haven't made yet, right? There's that. I'm probably going to make my puck this or something similar for the hockey. Don't know what, but I could make it white and pink and think of my friends who I've lost from breast cancer. So I have lots of things on my mind, things on my needles, things on my hooks, so many ideas. I'm for sure not going to get it all done this month, right? There's no way that I'm going to get everything done here on this bed. And plus, I'm just not. I'm only awake for so many hours. I only have two. I haven't turned into an octopus yet, right? If you haven't heard that yet. That's my fantasy. Want to become an octopus, have 8 little arms and hands, and be knitting with 2 and crocheting with 2, right? But that hasn't happened yet. So I've only got so much time. But of course, all of this is on my mind right now. So let me hear from you in the comment section, right? What's on your list and what's at the top? What's on your needles? What's on your hooks? And what's at the top of your list for the month of October? What projects have you bumped up to the top of your list for this month? And of course, let me know how often you want to do this. Just the beginning, just the first Saturday of the month, twice a month, every Saturday. I want to hear from you, my viewer, right? Let's make this a little crafting community, a little place where we can share ideas. So, alrighty, my friends, well, thank you so much for listening, right? And until next time, happy stitching. Bye-bye for now.